we as Ghanaians should bow down our heads in shame. All those calling for this, because in Nkrumah that we hail is a Pan-Africanist.
Right.
We have the boy center here. It's Pan-Africanism. So now there's a Pan-African movement in Ghana, and the so-called star of West Africa or Africa is now saying that there shouldn't be Africanism. This is not about whiteness. This is not about blackness. This is about Africanism. So why are we now fighting the Soviets? That's always been so. Our leaders always want to suppress in order for them to corrupt. There are citizens that they use to corrupt. They don't want them to be educated. They want them to be fooled. They want them to be downtrodden. They don't want them to be spoken as I am, because they might be thinking I'm an activist. I'm trying to change. So that yes, there's a leader that doesn't want us to climb them. They don't want us to bring us to the table. They are the old men. Look at African leaders. We have people 80 years all over the world or all over Africa who are African leaders. We don't have a youth. So if Malema, who is 42, will be 43 soon, is trying to revolutionize Africa, we should be able to say, yes, this is a star. If Peter Obi is revolutionizing the democracy of Nigeria, the youth should be able to embrace it. So this is what we are all calling for. That this is a harmless program. I think in every aspect of life, there's going to be an obstacle. This is just a harmless obstacle that we have to cross. The youth should not be dismayed. They should not be discouraged by programs being cancelled. They should always understand that, yes, there are going to be obstacles placed ahead, be the powers be, but they should still persevere, because Africanism is a core.
The new Africa Foundation, which was to be held at Independence Square in Ghana, has been cancelled after tension between organizers and the military. The convention was to bring together thought leaders in Africa, including Professor PLO Lumumba, Mr. Peter Obi, who is the opposition leader of Nigeria, Mr. Julius Malema, who is also an opposition leader of South Africa, and others to speak on key challenges confronting Africa development. Even though the event was cancelled, they were able to organize a press conference to address the situation. Let's watch this video.
The world at large, they know that Africa's future is in the hands of our youth. So New Africa Foundation specifically requested us to come and address African youth, starting with the youth in Ghana. And from what I'm hearing, the youth had actually come from all over Africa, and some came from outside Africa, specifically to hear the message of empowerment, the message about our future, the message about the miseducation of not only our youth, but us as Africans. The message about empowering our children and letting them know that now it is the time for us to do what we must do to take our Africa back. For far too long, we have been lied to. For far too long, we have been miseducated. And so as elders, those of the ones who are sitting with me today, and many others, we understand that we have failed our youth, but we do have a responsibility to make it right. And we do know that with our little wisdom and the energy and the intelligence of our youth, together, we can take our Africa in a new direction. That is what we came here to do. And that is what New Africa Foundation has asked us to do. We do know that our leaders cannot lead us on their own. They need all of us. So the message that we were going to deliver to our youth today was the message of hope, the message of resilience, and the message that says the Africa we want can only be built by us for us. And for us to succeed at doing so, we must be united. That the African youth are Africa's future. Without them, there is no future for Africa. And as elders, we have a responsibility to share with them the truth and nothing but the truth. That is the message that we came here to deliver. That is what New Africa Foundation had requested us to do. We may not be at the convention center, but we intend to continue to preach the gospel of truth until we reach the promised land. I have no doubt in my mind that we will get there, because Africa, the Africans, the people I like to describe as the beautiful, intelligent, sophisticated, highly adaptable, and totally indestructible human beings, the mothers and fathers of humanity, we will get to the promised land.
We came here to Accra, Ghana, to share our message. It's the message of hope. It's the message that Africa needs at this time. And there is no better place in the continent of Africa to begin that message than Accra, Ghana. It is in this Accra, Ghana that the Osagie for Kwame Nkrumah, almost 67 years ago, spoke to the world and told the world that the independence of Ghana meant nothing if the continent of Africa was not free. 67 years later, we were congregating here in Accra, in the very same place where the founding fathers and mothers of Ghana congregated to share the message of hope. Invited as we were by the New Africa Foundation, with one single instruction that we have lamented for too long, agonized for too long, and the time is now to organize. That is the innocent message that we came here to deliver. And in a manner totally inexplicable to us, we are not at that venue. But is it not the wise to say, when the world serves you a lemon, ask not for an orange, make yourself lemonade? We are here, therefore, to say that the message will be alive and well. And you who are here, young and old, you are the conduit via which we are now telling the world that the journey of hope continues apace, not only within the continent of Africa, which is the mother continent, but to Africans in the diaspora. I have no doubt in my mind that there is a conspiracy of sorts by the elements that it should happen the way it has happened. So this is not an occasion for lamentation. It is an occasion for redoubling our efforts and our presence here in Accra, Ghana. My good friend, Honorable Obi, my dear sister, Dr. Rikana Chihombri Kwao. This is the occasion for which the English word serendipity was created. It is a serendipitous occasion that heralds a great future for the continent of Africa. So that looking forward, a meeting such as this will happen not only here in Accra, Ghana, but I look forward to a meeting such as this taking place in Ouagadougou, in Burkina, taking place in Dakar, in Senegal, in Nairobi, in Kenya, in Johannesburg, in South Africa, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, because this is about the continent of Africa. And we say this at a time when we know that Africa has promised to herself that we are going to make more intimate our interaction, This is why the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is headquartered here in Accra, Ghana. This Accra, Ghana is where all Africans of goodwill pay homage, because out of this Accra, Ghana, there was a great son, the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. Shall be well with Accra, Ghana.
We might not be at the convention, but that will not stop the conversation. We only shifted venue, so the conversation continues. We're in Ghana to start the conversation about Africa. Africa for too long has suffered, and everybody knows the reason why Africa has suffered. People can try to present it in different stages. The Prof speaks about it every day. Africa has been going through what it's going through because of what I always say, that it is due to one problem: leadership. It is failed leadership over the years that brought Africa where it is. I want to start a conversation because of what Dr. Arikana has said, talking to the youth of Africa. No continent in the world today has the potential of Africa. Not one. We are the second largest in terms of population and size, but our potential is far greater than even number one, because today Africa is the only continent that have a population of 1.1 billion youths, energetic, talented, ready to leave the world in different areas of the world. Africa is home to the biggest, highest amount of natural resources, from minerals to, we have 65% today of the world all cultivated arable land. So imagine what we can do. We can feed the world. We can do everything. But ironically, because of what I started with, failed leadership over the years, Africa is also home to the highest number of poor people. Out of the 700 million people in extreme poverty today, 431 million live in Africa. Over 30% of our population. If you go to multidimensional poverty, out of 1.1 billion, over 60% is in Africa, with Congo and Nigeria leading. Today, in the surface of the world, Congo has the highest amount of natural, call it minerals, over 24 trillion. Nigeria has similar situation. You can extrapolate Congo situation to all over Africa, where they have everything, but they are producing poverty. It cannot continue with our youths. With the energy they have, they can lead the world in technology, in health, in entertainment, in everything. All they want is leadership, purposeful leadership. Africa has what is, look at its wealth, resources, shamelessly stolen and put in private pockets. It cannot continue. So we are just here to continue conversation. It's not about any country, anything, but talking to the youth of Africa to know that they can change the world. they can change the way things are in Africa. Africa should not be a continent where people come to beg or plead for aid. We should be contributing to aid of other people with the resources we have. And that's what Africa should be. Their own Africa should be. That's all the conversation is all about. It's about the future of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as a Pan-Africanist, I was very disappointed because I was looking forward to the event and what should have been said at the event. It was a program which I was really looking forward to listening to some of the great Pan-Africanists who has been very vocal about Pan-African ideologies. But we have to dive a little deep concerning this event which was supposed to take place and the issues surrounding it. Now, the person who was organizing this event is called, who has formed the organization called the New Africa Foundation. It's called Nana Kwame Bediako. That particular man, his intention towards leadership in Africa is not known. He's a businessman. He's into real estate, which we haven't seen him contributing to politics. When it comes to political narratives, he is not part of Ghana political leaders. So few months ago is when he really there was this organization was introduced, and it was introduced as a faceless organization, which we didn't know the intention and the concept behind this organization. So somehow along the line, people were just insinuating who was behind the organization, because they just came and the name was the New Force. So we didn't know the New Force was about political ambition, or it was about economical ambition, or whatever the organization name was not well detailed of the agenda. So what happened was people were just guessing what it can be. Then later we realized they came up with a teaser, which is a trailer introducing the ideas of what their intention was all about. And when it happens like that, unfortunately, the person who did the trailer was the spokesperson of that organization called the New Force, which somehow, after the trailer came out, few days later, she was arrested and deported to her home country, Belgium. Initially, we heard she has already attained citizenship of Ghana, but the government came out that he attained that citizenship through fake document. So she was deported, and we were still guessing who will be the owner of that organization. Now, I think this event was the event which was to introduce the real person behind this organization, and it couldn't, the event couldn't happen. So the person behind this particular event introduced himself, which we guessed it right, it was Nana Kwame Bediako. So there have been a very bad situation which has happened building up to this particular event between the government and the owner of the organization. There have been a bad blood between the two. So somehow, I don't know why the government, the intel, let me put it, I don't know the intel which the government has received, which he has been hunting down this organization. To organize a program in Independence Square of Ghana, need a clearance from the government of Ghana. So what the questions I'm asking is, what was the arrangement between the government and Nana Kwame Bediako, who is the owner of the New Africa Foundation? What was the agreement? Didn't he seek for permission to use the Independence Square, which is the event center? If he asked for permission and he was approved, then why did they cancel the program at the last minute when all the dignitaries has come and the event has been setting up, everything was about to happen, is when the government came in to stop the program? If Nana Kwame Bediako, who is the owner of this organization, did not also seek for permission, then I can say then he also faulted at the government. But Nana Kwame Bediako has brought his statement, and the government has also brought out the statement, but the government even did a whole mistake addressing to different events. He didn't address the statement to this particular event that happens. They address it to different organization, which is the Black Star Line, which is Chance the Rapper program. So we are still waiting for the government to come out and state the reason he stopped this program. Because Ghana has been how should I put it? It has been the home of Pan-Africanism, because the people who came out to form African Union, the person who spearheaded is Kwame Nkrumah, who is a Ghanaian. So when it comes to Pan-Africanism, Ghana has been the pioneer of Pan-Africanism. So we don't want to experience a situation where the main pioneers of Pan-Africanism are now suppressing people who believe in Pan-Africanism ideologies. The government of Ghana have to come out to issue a statement to address this particular issue, because the information going out there is very negative and is not going to sit well with well-meaning individuals who believes in Pan-Africanism ideologies. Already, the current government has been accused of being a puppet of the Western countries. So if they want to come clear, they have to come clear, because otherwise it's going to look ugly in the face of Ghana. But as I have already stated, the man behind the organization which organized this particular program has have a rift, which is some tension between him and the government already. So maybe this was also part of an intel which they have received, and maybe they act according to what they have received. Initially, West African countries has been experiencing some coup recently, so most of the governments around the remaining West African countries are being careful something like that don't happen. But I don't think this particular organization have intention of any coup, because if they have intention of a coup, I don't think they will organize this convention and bring in all these Pan-African men to come, and men and women to come and share their thoughts, or come and come and lecture people about Pan-Africanism. So we are still waiting for the government to come and share, to issue statement to address this particular issue. Otherwise, we are going to be very disappointed at the event that happened in Ghana. Please go to my description box and click on the Telegram group and join us on Telegram as we extend our discussion to Telegram to discuss about the issue concerning Africa. Also, if you are today is your first time watching me, then you have to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload any great content, you will be notified. Thanks for watching.